Hello students, let us start with the next session of the chapter 2, Nutrition in Animals. First of all, esophagus. Esophagus is otherwise known as food pipe. Food once swallowed from the mouth reaches the esophagus. It runs along the neck and the chest and opens into the stomach. Throughout the alimentary canal, we can see a wave-like movement that helps to push the food forward in a regulated manner. And this wave-like movement is known as peristalsis. Now sometimes when we have food and at the same time keep talking, we get a sensation known as hiccups, or we may cough or sneeze. What could be the reason for this? Usually when we have food, the windpipe gets closed by a triangular flap like valve, and this prevents the entry of food into the windpipe. But when we talk along with eating, it so happens that this flap opens and accidentally the food particles may enter the windpipe, because the windpipe and the food pipe runs parallel to each other. And when these food particles accidentally enter into the windpipe, we have this coughing sensation or hiccups, or we sneeze. Next is the stomach. The esophagus opens into the stomach, and in the other end the stomach opens into the small intestine. Stomach is the widest part of the alimentary canal. It is a highly muscular J-shaped bag-like organ. The walls are highly muscular, which help in the churning of food. In the walls of the stomach are present certain glands known as the gastric glands. These gastric glands produce HCl, mucus, and a digestive juice known as pepsin. Now mucus helps to protect the walls of the stomach from the corrosive action of HCl. HCl has two functions. One is to kill the germs that have entered along with the food. Not only that, it helps to activate the digestive juice known as pepsin. And pepsin helps in the partial digestion of proteins. Now food now enters the small intestine. The small intestine is associated with two very important glands, that is the liver and the pancreas. The small intestine is the longest part of the alimentary canal and it is highly coiled. It is 7.5 meters. Now this alimentary canal, the small intestine, as I told you, is associated with two glands, the liver and the pancreas. The liver is the largest gland in our body. It is reddish brown in color. And it produces a digestive juice known as the bile. The bile is produced in the liver but stored in the gallbladder. The liver is connected to the small intestine by the bile duct, and the bile helps in the digestion of fats. pancreas is a cream-colored organ which is leaf-like and found between the stomach and the small intestine. It produces pancreatic juice, and the pancreatic juice contains two digestive juices, that is the trypsin and the lipase. Lipase helps in the digestion of fats and trypsin helps in the digestion of proteins. Now, in the small intestine are also present intestinal glands. These intestinal glands produce several digestive juices which finally help in the complete digestion of food. Thus, carbohydrates are broken down to glucose, proteins to amino acids, and fats into fatty acids and glycerol. With that, digestion is completed. Now, once digestion is completed, next process is absorption. The small intestine, the wall of the small intestine is, the inner lining is produced into finger-like projections called villi. The villi are also richly supplied with blood capillaries, and it is made of very thin, fine, delicate membrane. This structure facilitates diffusion, and thus the digested fat is absorbed into the body through the blood vessels. Once it is absorbed, it is assimilated. That means this absorbed food is taken to the different organs where it is converted to complex substances known as, for example, like proteins. And this process is known as assimilation. Now, from the small intestine, food then passes to the large intestine. The large intestine is wider but shorter, nearly 1.5 meters. Here, the excess amount of water and salts are reabsorbed. So, now the waste becomes semi-solid, which is known as feces. The feces is stored in the rectum and is ejected out at regular intervals through the anus. And this process of throwing out of waste is known as ejection. With that, the whole process of nutrition is completed. Thank you.